Hello and welcome back to Creativity Without Bounds. Today let's look at how to make these wonderful tassel earrings from scratch. We begin by cutting out 2 strands of a fancy looking thread. So here I've used this lustrous range from Anchor. Now I guess there are a few colors available and I'll be using the silver one. Now we totally need 2 strands here, and each strand should be double the length of what we expect our earring to be. Now since this thread does not hold up like the normal cotton embroidery thread, we need to glue the ends so that all the strands remain together. Now gluing will also make it pointed, which is going to actually help us in making our earrings better. Glue the ends, make it pointed, and set it aside to dry. You have to do this with both the strands. Let us now begin making the tassel. For that, I have used rayon threads here, and I'll tell you why you must not use normal cotton embroidery threads later in the video. For winding it around you need something, and I've used a scale that has a slight curve in the middle. You must also ideally use something that has a curve in the center. Wind it around as many times as you please. The larger the number of windings, the fatter looking tassel you'll have. I've used about 200 windings here. Insert a scissor through the dent that your curved object would have and then cut through the threads. Now holding it all together very carefully, place a needle almost at the center and fold the threads around it. Now you can also just twist the needle a little so the threads stay in place. After that, you can take a small piece of that very thread, wind it around 2-3 times and then make a knot around it. You can take a closer look at the video to see how to create a knot. Make sure you leave a small gap and not wind it very close to the needle. Cut off the excess thread and remove the tassel we've made from the needle. You can also create an additional extra knot before removing. Compare it with the rest of the tassels and cut it from the bottom if needed to make it of even size. Let's now start assembling the earring. Now we use those threads we had glued earlier. Insert one end of that thread into a needle and insert that needle into the hole that would ideally be there inside your tassel. Remember, I told you not to wind it very close to the needle. So you will now have this gap through which you can insert the needle and eventually insert that thread. Have a very small portion of the thread stick out from the tassel. Now this small thing I use here is called a gear lock. It is used in jewelry making. What it basically is a small metallic kind of ring which flattens out when you press on it. So insert that through the longer end and you see the small end that was sticking out. Keep both the threads together and insert this gear lock through both the threads till you reach the tip of the tassel. Flatten it out using a plier and that will remain locked right there. Now you insert whatever you want to be in your earring. I have a bead cap and a few beads, and then I insert the earring tag. Now in the reverse order that you had previously inserted the beads, insert them again. And also make sure you put in the gear lock too. Now, using the needle as we did previously, you need to insert it through the tassel again. Make sure the beads you are using are heavy because the tassels are light in weight, the thread is light in weight, so for that to hang downwards you need some kind of weight which pulls it down, and that would come only from the beads that you use. So make sure you use slightly heavy beads. And as you did previously, we again insert that lock through both the threads and then clamp it down. We're now almost done, but there is a problem that this thread will keep moving across the earring tag. So for that to not happen, we have to create a knot right at the earring tag and create a knot in such a way that the both sides are almost equal in length. If not exactly the same, one can be slightly longer than the other. And that will be it for the earrings. See, it's so simple to make. This is an earring I had made using cotton embroidery threads. It looks fine, but there is a small problem, and that is the fact that these threads, cotton threads, they clamp up together, so you will not have a very fluffy looking tassel if you use them. So make sure you use something like silk or rayon to make your tassels. That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Do try out and do stay tuned for more.